Have any of you guys ever heard a GP say that they feel like they're going to fall out of their roller coaster seat, or do they say a roller coaster is unsafe because the lap bars don't go low enough? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be counting down my top 10 favorite airtime moments that I have experienced. And keep in mind, I'm going to be limiting this to one element per coaster so we don't see the same 3 coasters over and over and over again, because quite frankly, that would get a little bit boring. But once again, this is my opinion, so let's go ahead and get started at the number 10 spot with Thunderhead's transitional airtime moments. And there wasn't really a specific moment on Thunderhead that I remember standing out above all the others, maybe except like this one hill near the station fly-through that I know a lot of people like to talk about. But Thunderhead in itself is just an ejector airtime packed ride. You're going to be going through some bank turns and then a nice surprising moment of airtime. None of these hills are actual bunny hop airtime hills. They're more just kind of there in the layout. They're more surprised than anything. But once again, I haven't ridden Thunderhead in a long time, so therefore Thunderhead's coming in at the number 10 spot. Now at the number 9 spot, we have MindBlowers Triple Down, that I like to call, because it's about a little less than halfway through the layout, and you go through a double down next to the parking lot, but then you hit this one ejector hill right before you hit a hard bank to the right, and that one hill is actually a really nice part of the ride. So is the second airtime hill on the double down. Both of those are really nice ejector airtime moments. Right now it's coming in at the number 9 spot. Now at the number 8 spot, we have Rip Ride Rocket's final brake run, and if you're sitting in the back row, you're going to get flung over this final brake run drop. I mean, maybe that's because my last rides, it was trimming lightly, but this thing did just wonders to your bodies, wonders to your thighs. It absolutely threw your body up into the air. It wasn't that long lasting, but I remember it being one hell of a surprise. So now at the number 7 spot, we have Millennium Force's Speed Hill at the end of the ride, and you might argue that the first drop or even the second big camelback is better, but personally, this one speed hill at the end just did it all for me, because it was some borderline ejector airtime, especially with those intimate T-bars. You're really going to feel this airtime. You get a lot of space, and honestly, it is my favorite airtime moment on the ride, just because all the other moments felt weaker. They might have been longer lasting, but they just felt really weak compared to this one moment, because this one moment of airtime was pretty fantastic. So now at the number 6 spot, we have Mako Speed Hill, and yeah, this might come as a surprise. I preferred Mako Speed Hill to Millennium Force's. Why? It just felt a little bit stronger, because I mean, I rode Millennium Force 12 times. I rode it in multiple different rows, middle, front, back, you name it, and I was pleasantly surprised. It was a nice moment, but something about Mako Speed Hill, like your shirt's just flying up, probably just as long lasting. I just felt like it was stronger. I don't know, it just feels like it thrusts your body up into the air a little bit more, but that just might be me. And now we're at our top 5, and coming in at the number 5 spot is Mavericks Drop. And if you're in the back row, you're going to get catapulted over this drop into Lake Erie. I'm not even joking. This is one of the most powerful moments of airtime ever. It was really surprising on my first ride, because my first ride was in the back row. I just got flung out into Lake Erie. And if you do the special trick with the intimate soft plastic restraints where you loosen up your seatbelt, whether your legs are stapled or not, you're just going to fly into the air. You're going to feel nothing on your upper body. It is an incredible feeling. So now at the number 4 spot, we have Magnum's Finale. And I was really considering putting Mavericks Drop over Magnum's Finale. However, Magnum's Finale just has way more moments. I didn't even get a trimless ride or a Car 1 Row 3 ride, but man, these hills are just something. They are so sudden. They really just jam your body straight up into the air. And it is probably some of the most aggressive airtime, if not the most aggressive airtime that I've ever experienced. Maybe not quite the strongest or anything, but it is so aggressive, so repetitive. It is just non-stop lethal action, and that's why it's coming at the number 4 spot. And now we've hit our top 3, and coming in at the number 3 spot is Steel Vengeance's Outward Bank. And this is an incredible moment. You are just hanging sideways, and you really feel like you're going to get thrown out of your seat. People argue that this is floater airtime, but those people don't know what they're talking about, because this is pure ejector airtime. It lasts for what feels like a million years. It's at least 3 seconds long. It is some of the most powerful and some of the longest lasting sustained ejector on Earth. My problem is the strength of the airtime. It's not quite as aggressive as some of these other airtime moments on here, or as forceful per se. It is forceful, but it just doesn't feel as aggressive or sharp or sudden. Therefore, it's coming in at the number 3 spot. However, this could very well be anyone's favorite element. And this could very well hop into my number 2 spot as well. But at the number 2 spot, we have El Toro's Rolling Thunder Hill. And this hill is stronger. It's just not as long lasting. But this Rolling Thunder Hill is absolutely crazy. If you're in the front row, it feels sudden. You're just going to feel all sorts of crazy whip. And if you're sitting in the back row, you're going to feel your whole body get whipped and catapulted. Kind of like Mavericks Drop, except like 3 times stronger. And with lap bars, this is the holy grail of single airtime moments. I'm sure there's better out there, but from what I've experienced, this is my favorite single moment of airtime. And you guys all know what that means. At the number 1 spot is Lightning Rod's Quad Down. And I mean, unless if your name is Micah, this is pretty much most people's favorite element ever. It's not necessarily the strength itself, is more of the repetitiveness and like the crescendo of the strength of airtime and just how crazy it gets towards the bottom. And yeah, there might be single moments. If you compared, let's say, the last hill in the Quad Down to the Rolling Thunder Hill, I'd probably take the Rolling Thunder Hill. But if you consider the consecutiveness of each of these elements and how much crazier they get by the moment and by the hill, and if you include that last little hill at the end, the Quad Down is by far my favorite coaster element overall that I've experienced. And this is just one insane moment. It is one of the best moments on planet Earth. The thing is how it just tosses your body in multiple directions while giving you airtime, while getting stronger as it goes down the mountainside. And that is why the Quad Down is my favorite airtime moment that I have experienced. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to drop a like, comment your thoughts on this video, subscribe for more content. Please give me suggestions on videos. I'm in need of some suggestions right now. I have less than 2 months until Hershey Park and Great Adventure. And as always, I'll see you all later. Peace out.